How are you? Thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So you guys have a big week ahead of you. You got the Big West Conference Championships for you coming up next week. Is that correct?
Yeah, we'll be heading down to UC Riverside, leaving on Thursday, and we'll be competing Friday and Saturday.
And so expectations for you, obviously, you're the top seed as far as the long jump is concerned, or the triple jump,
Yes.
correct? So expectations have to be pretty high in terms of qualifying for regionals.
Yeah, going into conference as the top seed is really exciting. However, I know that I have a big target on my back, but I just want to compete as if I'm fighting for every jump that I have. Less about the mark, but more about executing each part of the jump and knowing what I can do and what I've trained for all year.
And now you qualified for regionals in the triple jump last year, correct?
Yes.
You weren't not the number one seed last year. Does that change how you approach, or were you the number one seed?
Going into conference last year, I think I was the number 2 seed, but still ranked highly. My goal has always been to be conference champion because I know I'm capable of it. But this weekend is so much about scoring points for my team, and I'm really excited about just the talent pool we have this year. And I think at least on the women's side, we have the potential to finish a lot higher than we did last year. So as much as I can contribute is what I'm really excited about.
Team-wise, what are reasonable expectations? Is this a conference championship type team?
I think reasonable for us finishing 6th as a women's team last year. We're probably, if we could get top 5 or even around 4th, I think that would be a really great accomplishment for us. As far as the men's side, they finished 2nd last year, and I think they're easily a top 3 team again.
And now for you, regionals, you hit your mark, your PR in triple jump at Riverside earlier this year, is that correct? And Riverside is where you guys are going for. Does that give you maybe any extra confidence considering that you've done it there, you've been there, done that?
Yeah, I really liked the facilities at Riverside. I felt really good that day. It should be really warm weather this weekend, which is great jumping conditions. So knowing that my best jump was there and I'm familiar with it, I'm really excited to see what I can do again.
How much do the facilities and the environment change from place to place? Is there a huge variation in terms of how comfortable you are at certain venues?
Yeah, it really does depend. Like even things like wind conditions play a huge role in how you prepare. Yeah, Riverside, like just really good ground, really responds well to the bounce, and I just felt really good jumping there, and I always feel good jumping at home too. So those are the places where I've jumped the best this year. I'm
sorry, you mentioned that you are the top seed and you have the target on your back a little bit. Does competing and training to compete at such a big event as opposed to maybe a regular season meet, does anything change for you in terms of preparing for the event?
I know I've been in a lot of high talent meets, just even high school and college, and so it's not as much as nervousness, but just training through what I've been doing all year. Maybe even giving my body a little more rest before conference because I've done all the weightlifting and intense running that I can do up to this point, and now it's just preparing my mental game.
I'm curious, you mentioned some of the training that goes into it. How does a triple jump, a long jump, a high jump, how do you train for that? Is it a lot, because if you're a runner, you run. Is it a lot of jumping, or is it a lot of weights, or is it a combination of the two?
Yeah, weight training is definitely really important. A lot of high explosive movements, plyometric drills. In terms of running, like I still do sprint workouts with our short sprinters, but a lot more is focused on technique and making sure your run-up approach on the jump is consistent, and making sure a lot of technical days, making sure your body position's in the right place.
When you get ready for an event like this, is there a certain number that you're looking for, or is it more, the process and the number will take care of itself? Or are you looking for an actual number?
I mean, I do have goals in my mind. Like I would love to hit 42 feet this year. I've been on the cusp of it for 2 years now. But I know it's less about the number, and if I know that I execute exactly what I'm supposed to every phase of the jump, that the number is gonna cover itself, that I don't need to worry about fouling or this much distance on this part, and just do what I know I can do.
She is Cal Poly Junior Kendal Nielsen. I told you I might call you Taylor Nelson on accident. She's a volleyball player at Cal Poly, but I'm so far so good. We will have more, including her story on how she got to Cal Poly, coming up right after the break. Stay with us.